Are you tired of bland and boring entertainment of 2023? Well, despair not, my dear friends. I have got a recommendation for you. An ancient tale from Mother Russia. Hi everybody, and welcome to yet another video. My dear friends, that is something that I have been talking about on my channel for the longest time, and that is, if you want good entertainment, if you want good stories, you have to go back in time and rediscover and maybe discover for the very first time for yourself something wholesome, something that is of an extraordinary quality, and sometimes it might come from places that you wouldn't expect it. Now, I have realized that throughout the history of this channel and my previous channel, I have never pointed your attention towards one of my favorite films of all times, and that is a film that I have been watching and re-watching every year since I was about 2 or 3 years old. It is a film that they show on television in the Czech Republic and in Slovakia also every Christmas, every Yule, and it is something that is so extraordinarily popular that everybody in my country knows about it, and it has even been adapted into a live performance on ice. It is Morosko, or Father Frost, I suppose, in English, from 1964. It is a Soviet film that is an adaptation of an ancient Slavic fairy tale, a fairy story about, well, basically, an old man, Father Frost, who goes around the forests and the neighborhood every winter and puts snow on trees. It is him who is the man thanks to whom you see beautifully snowed trees in winter. And it is also about the hero, Ivan, and his love, Nastinka. And there are villains, Baba Yaga, and a bad mother, and her evil daughter. And the story basically revolves around Ivan going into the world, because that often happens in the Slavic fairy stories and folk tales, that a young lad goes out into the world to discover it and to live through many an adventure and meet many a peril. And also, there is another story about Nastinka, who lives with her old father and her stepmother, evil stepmother, and that evil stepmother's evil daughter, and she's being oppressed. And the evil stepmother hates her, and she commands the father, who is kind of a cuck, to take Nastinka into the forest and leave her there. Well, against his own will, and with tremendous sorrow in his heart, he does it, and there she is saved by Father Frost, by Morosko. I shall not tell you the entire story. I just like to tell you that you will appreciate it, and especially then people who still have very strong bonds with Europe. The European continent, our ancestors, our very old and ancient stories and fairy tales and folk tales that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents told us at the bedside, very often extremely archetypal. If you look at the story of Morosko, it is very, very much rooted in ancient European history, and it is very much pagan, and also extremely archetypal. You've got the character of the hero, which is Ivan, a strong young lad who goes through many a danger, and he goes through actually a tremendously developed character development. That was kind of a strange sentence. Well, English is my second language. The character development of Ivan is extraordinary. He starts as a very pompous, very self-confident, very arrogant young man who thinks that the entire world belongs to him, and he behaves very, well, unpleasantly towards a certain, you could say, character, wizard gnome, who then punishes him through his magic. And that makes Ivan change his entire personality, his manners. So the character development in this story is 100 times stronger, 100 times better than in any story that is being made, written in 2023, be it in a mainstream or in the independent scene. And as far as the antagonist, the main antagonist, Baba Yaga, who wouldn't know Baba Yaga if you are from Europe, especially then from, Slavic countries. Now, the extraordinary thing is that Baba Yaga in this movie is portrayed by a man who is dressed as a woman. Now, that is very progressive for today, isn't it? And it is also very extraordinarily beautiful that of course, me being from the Czech Republic and me growing up in the Czech Republic, I watched it on Czech television, and that means that the film was dubbed into Czech. And the Baba Yaga character has always been dubbed by a man. So that is something that is close to my heart and has always been. And more so than when you consider the fact that Father Frost himself could be really considered kind of an Odin character, the old, wise old man character. The archetype, if you are acquainted with Carl Gustav Jung's The Theory of Archetypes, you've got the character of the wise old man who has been appearing in stories since the dawn of time. The old man of, the wanderer, the Odin, the one-eyed god from Norse mythology. And then if you go further, more in time, you have got the character of the wizard Merlin in the Arthurian legends. I'm, of course, skipping from here to there and pointing out my favorite characters. I'm sure you could find many characters yourselves. Please do feel free to put them in the comments down below. And then you go further in time, and much, much further actually, and you've got the character of Gandalf, the Grey Wanderer, who basically dresses like Odin from old Norse myths, from the Eddaic stories. Go further in time, who could we mention now as the character of the wise old man, which is the archetype of a man who serves as a mentor, a teacher to the hero, to the character of the hero, points him to the right direction, teaches him. He doesn't really win the victory for the hero, he just points him in a certain direction, and that makes the hero reach his destination. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the old Ben Kenobi, for example, from the original Star Wars. More recently then, for instance, Albus Dumbledore. Now I forgot, we can go back to the end of the 19th century. Is it not a fact that Abraham Van Helsing is kind of a wise old man character as well? And so Father Frost is so very much connected with all this, with the identity of being European. But at the same time, it is a very well-made movie, and a funny one. And it is much better than what you can find in the mainstream and independent entertainment of 2023. So feel free to check it out. It is on YouTube for free, even in English, if you are from an English-speaking country. I shall put a link in the description down below, so you can check it out for yourselves, watch it, and then come back and tell me if you liked it. And that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out of here.